Hello, hello, hello. Bow, 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 bow. Wrestling Rock. Welcome to a Somewhere in the Ring mini episode. I am Andrew Sanford, joined as always by Ryan Sprague, and we are here to talk
It's
WrestleMania.
my tag team partner.
We are here to talk 2004. More specifically, we're here to talk WrestleMania 20. Even more specifically, we are here to talk Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20, which is very exciting. Ryan, I don't know about you. Eddie Guerrero especially was huge for me growing up, especially around this. Oh my God. I just loved him. That was, I remember when the Radicals showed up for the first time. I remember, I believe, making Eddie Guerrero in WrestleMania 2000 because he might not have been in there yet. And then by No Mercy, he was just always one of my favorites. Great in the ring, great personality, gone way too soon. And look, Kurt Angle's up there too, but I've talked too much already. How are you? What do you think of these two fine folks?
I'm doing great, buddy. I chose this match actually because I knew you were a big fan of Guerrero, and I was too. And you know, it's been told by many of the superstars that when he became champ, like the immense pressure he put on himself to stay at the top and sell out the arenas like these champions are supposed to do. It's expected of them. He just put so much pressure on himself, and everyone around him was just like, dude, you're doing great. You're doing great. You know,
that's such a bummer. It was this belt, I believe, as well. The one behind me, the Universal title, was the first one that he won when he won the big one. And, yeah, that's really sad to hear. I feel like Chris Benoit had a similar attitude, and just it's tough. Look, you want the business to succeed, you want things to go up, but health comes first. Being taken care of yourself comes first, and it's good to know that we are at a time now. Well, I would say we're at a time where people don't feel the need to do this, but I don't know if you saw this, but like Seth Rollins wrestled through WrestleMania with an injury, and apparently so did Drew McIntyre, and Becky Lynch wrestled with 102 fever. Like, it's WrestleMania. I get it to a point, but y'all, come on,
guys.
We're past some of this stuff. We don't want people to get worse.
I know.
So we are here for a match commentary. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle. We are going to talk over this match. There will be we'll probably turn the volume up a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end, but in the middle, it's all us, baby. So if you want to watch the match with us, you can find it on YouTube pretty easily, I'm sure. Or if you have WWE 2K24, you can actually play through this match, which is pretty fun. It's one of the WrestleMania matches that you can play through and unlock that sweet, sweet arena.
Nice.
To do with as you choose. Yeah.
Well, and then we should also mention before we do this, we have a Twitch where Andrew plays the game. So be sure to go. I'll put a link in the show notes, just as I'll put links to these matches on YouTube as well. Join our Twitch where Andrew plays the WWE 2K24. Did I get that right?
Yeah. Come watch me play video games and be silly. It's a lot of fun. It's been a fun time. I finally have a camera, so it actually feels legitimate. It's not just my voice narrating video
disembodied voice. Yeah,
you get to watch me. Make weird faces, drop my ring light while I'm trying to adjust it, things of that nature. It's a good time. It's a good time. So
it was fun. I watched it last night. Jane and I had a ball. So love what you're doing over there, buddy. But I guess we'll get to the match.
Why not?
That's
what we're here for, right? Let's do it.
Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 20.
Kurt. Let's talk about we're jumping right in too. Yeah, a little Michael Cole action.
Yep.
Did they put this up before WrestleMania 40? That's crazy.
They must have.
This was 20 WrestleManias ago, or I guess 19. Like, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Eddie. Oh, and Taz on the commentary.
Taz is still on mic. Nice.
Oh, funny. The early 2000s, the announcers that they went through, some nice tie-up action. This is going to be a good match.
They look like they're both in their prime.
100%. Because there's even a tie, like you start to see Eddie Guerrero in the years after this, and maybe not. Oh man, I have to look up now what year he passed, because I feel like it wasn't super long after this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
which is such a, oh my God. It was about a year and a half later, a year and a half after this. Poor guy. Just such a bummer. Such a bummer. Such a sweet guy from what everybody said. Like, just. Oh.
I still love the story about when Jericho first went up to him and like went up to him in like a character, and Guerrero like flipped out on him. He was like, dude, he's like, what's your name? And Jericho went up to him, and he was a different character at the time, and he like was trying to impress Guerrero, and he was like, what the are you doing? What is your real name, asshole? He's like, are we in a ring right now?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's so much like peacocking backstage in wrestling. I'm sure like that. It's got to be a madhouse back there. Like, I feel like I heard a story too recently because a lot of times they basically share a locker room unless you are like the marquee star. You get your own locker room. But even then, I forget who was saying recently, but Bret Hart was at a pay-per-view or at some event. He saw that he had his own locker, and he was just like, what is this? I don't even, I change with the boys. I go, it was just like that, like real leadership kind of stuff. Another guy like that. It bums me out of all that we've seen people come back from what should be career ending injuries. Edge, Shawn Michaels,
Stone Cold to an extent.
Stone Cold, yes. Like Bret Hart never got that shot, unfortunately. And like, look, hopefully he's happy. I will say he does seem bitter about it sometimes, and I don't blame him. You look at somebody like Big E, who recently was talking about how he's like, look, I'm pain free. I may not ever wrestle again, but I'm happy. And that's the kind of stuff you hope for. But like, yeah, people come back, and that just never really happened for Bret Hart, and that bums me out. I feel like we missed a lot of good Bret Hart years.
A lot of good years, I know.
Yeah. Like, imagine the feuds he could have had with Stone Cold. I mean, but he also, he went and jumped on a sinking ship, and here we are.
That was his decision.
I'm sure he got a ton of money, and he was trying to help, and they just didn't know how to use him.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. Back to this match. Oh man, some good old shoulder blocks.
Oh yeah.
There is. Man, what a
power.
Angle. Angle is somebody, and I mean, it's probably because of the Olympic wrestling background, but man, I love that both of them too have an extra neck.
Yeah. They are both jacked at this point. Like this was just
enormous. Jack
brute.
Jacked and lean though, like they are jacked, but they are lean, and it's really impressive to see. And Eddie's got the most early 2000s haircut you could possibly have. He already had the belt at this point. Actually, I feel like I remember this because he won the belt from Lesnar at Backlash.
Okay.
For whatever reason, that transfer happened. It's one of the few times I can remember the belt changing hands not Backlash, No Way Out. Sorry. The belt changing hands in the lead up to WrestleMania. And Guerrero's really given Angle a run for his money here. But the cardio that these two are displaying is phenomenal.
It's so interesting too. Like a match like this wouldn't really have appealed to me back in the day because it's just a lot of locks and holds and
it's actual wrestling.
It's actual wrestling. It puts the wrestling in the professional wrestling, which Angle is known for.
Yeah. But hey, man, my man is caked up. I'm sorry. I don't want to let that go by. And I don't mean to objectify somebody, but his butt is just staring me in the face right now. And that thing is thick. Like, good Lord. Good for him. Good for you, Kurt. Man. So, sorry, you were saying, yeah, sure, if you wanted to, Ryan. I don't know why you had to put it there, but
I went there, baby. It's just this would not have appealed to me back when I was actually watching it. I like the high flyers. I like the, I don't know. But now watching this, I'm like, what had to go into this? And just the pure strength of each of them, because they're not just lightly holding each other right now. Like they're literally
Yeah, it's
selling each move. Bam.
Oh man, what a sequence! What a sequence! And again, Kurt landed on that big old butt, so he's fine. That's all the cushion he could need. Yeah, they are really going at it, and I feel like it was either the year before this or the year after. I'm gonna say the year after that Kurt wrestles Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I believe it is because it's WrestleMania 21, which would be the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood event. And Kurt Angle wrestles Shawn Michaels, and we should maybe do that one at some point because that is a phenomenal match. I'm going to look that up to see if I was correct. But Kurt Angle, I think it's a bummer. People have made this joke ad nauseum since we saw the treatment that Sting got at AEW for his last match. But like the fact that Kurt's last match was like against like a terrible match against what's his name?
Wasn't it?
Football player or who used to be a Brian.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting his name, but I mean, not
it was
that
someone
terrible.
Forgettable, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, what's his Byron? No, and it is next year.
Corbin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin. There it is.
Not a fan of that guy.
Nah, yeah, me neither. But hey, so maybe we'll have to do a match of his at some point, like what we're going to do with Austin Theory.
Not a fan of him. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah. But yeah, the next year was Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, and that match is a barn burner to say the least. And it's two of them just throwing down. But that was the thing is Kurt Angle could wrestle anyone.
Oh yeah.
It's so he's really I think like when we look back at things in the past, especially this era, the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s,
German suplex.
He was one of the best. And I remember it bummed me out when he like, I don't know what they were doing with him. I know they moved him over to ECW and all of a sudden he was just like, whoa, good save. Ooh, good jump. Let's go. Oh man. They are again like I would be surprised if these two look even remotely gassed by the end of this match because they're just they're giving it their all. They're firing on all cylinders. But man, oh man, you would never tell.
You know exactly. And Angle, no matter how far he is into his run here, he reminds me of Logan Paul in terms of like picking up the style of WWE, picking up wrestling so naturally and just coming in and like kind of going right to the top. Not in like he's a YouTube star, Logan Paul.
Sure.
Like, shoot him to the top. No, both of these guys came in. A lot was expected of them, and they rose to the challenge, in my personal opinion.
Sure. And Angle was a hot commodity too, because I know that there was there's the infamous story of him. I don't know if he was like in negotiation with ECW or if there was like a possibility of him going to ECW, and he is there at a live show where I believe someone gets crucified. And he leaves and is like furious, and he's just like, "You didn't tell me something like this was gonna happen." Like it is, and and what's even funnier is he doesn't end up going to ECW, but then his last bit in his time at WWE before he comes back a decade later is during their attempt to make a Tuesday night ECW show. That he was kind of like the face of that, which was kind of their like NXT in a way at the time. That's where CM Punk started. That's where like a lot of the younger folks were getting their start. I know Lashley became champ over there, if I remember correctly. That was a big deal, but he had already kind of been on the main roster. But I feel like they never knew what they wanted to do with ECW. And the main thing they didn't do was make it extreme. I remember I was like, well, these are just all normal wrestling matches. Like, what are we doing here?
Except CW.
Yeah. Ooh, pulling on that nose. I remember watching an episode of ECW with my then 10-year-old cousin. He might have even been younger than that. And I was watching him for whatever reason, even though I was like, well, I was probably like 16 or 17. And I was like, we're going to watch some wrestling tonight because you haven't really. And we put on ECW, and it's RVD and Sabu. And I'm sitting there just like, it's a lot of botches. It's, a nice little chin breaker there. A lot of botches, a lot of bad stuff. And then my cousin, he just goes, this is boring. It just kind of, and I was like, all right, pal, sorry, we're gonna watch Simpsons or something. Like it was just, yeah, no good. 2, nuts. Oof. Here we go, man.
Yep, you're right. They don't even look gassed.
No, they just keep going. They just
maybe
keep going.
Angle a little bit.
Yeah, but I also think there's like, natural, you're exerting a lot of energy, so of course you're going to be breathing heavy and stuff like that. But then there is, in some of these matches we've seen wrestlers where you're just like, oh, you want to call it right now, don't you? And I feel like these guys could probably go for another 10, 15 minutes easily at this point. Pardon me. So yeah, ooh, doing that too. I'm trying to figure out if this ref that's in the ring right now was one of the guys who was a WCW ref.
Ooh.
Because one of my favorite things during that invasion storyline is they had the refs even like fighting each other.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There might have
hilarious.
even been like a big match at one point, just so silly. But some of the refs are former wrestlers.
Yeah. The invasion, man, what a fail. We'll have to do like a whole episode on the entire invasion.
Oh man, I would love that. Because just talk about the huge example of just squandering opportunity, squandering what you have because you need to come out on top for some reason. And we would see the same thing like a decade later when they finally brought Sting in, and they're just like, no, Sting has to lose to Triple H for some reason. Like, just
what?
Yeah, silliness.
Well, something tells me the person making those decisions no longer makes decisions.
I mean, we'll see. I'm sure Triple H had his ear at that point. You know what I mean? This is like 2014, 2015, maybe even a little earlier. Look. And I love Triple H, and but he's made his share of bad decisions.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to. Yes.
Come on.
This also might have been a year removed. Angle just had some bangers. The year before this might have been Angle against Brock Lesnar for the belts at WrestleMania. And Brock Lesnar doing one of the ugliest moonsaults I have ever seen.
I remember that.
He lands like on his neck. It is brutal.
Doesn't he try to go up and do it again?
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe. I hope not. Woof.
Yeah. I believe I might be misremembering, but he definitely got a concussion from that.
Ugh.
Yeah. And almost broke his neck.
Yeah. No good. No bueno. Okay. All right. Eddie's hurting. This is when we got to start seeing the fun Eddie Guerrero, because Eddie Guerrero, one of those wrestlers who could cheat continuously and nobody gets mad. It's really fun. Really impressive. Yeah.
And it was okay. It's like wanting Walter White to get away in Breaking Bad. Like you just you always like. I still don't feel that way about like someone like Logan Paul whenever he brings out like the brass knucks or
it's funny to we've oh man, what a punch. There are those wrestlers who can try as hard as they might. They are heels who are trying to be faces, and then you've got guys who are faces trying to be heels. But there's this kind of fun thing that can happen. Yeah, there we go. Duke it out. Where somebody can be so over, they can be doing heel things and the crowd just loves it. They want more. And somebody can be so hated that they can try to do face things and it just gets outright rejected.
Well, I feel like that's where we're at with the Judgment Day. Like you've got Rhea Ripley, obviously, like the latest update with her, being that she's no longer. She's out with injury, but like her and Damian Priest, like these are supposed to be heels, yet they're like so beloved, and they're kind of like, what do we do now?
It's really fun, and especially when there was a while, I think I even talked about it on the show, where I was just like, I don't think they know what to do with these guys, and now post WrestleMania, because they got such a big push. Now I'm just kind of like, oh, that's too bad. Like they were finally figuring out what they want to do, and Rhea gets injured. And And to see that stable evolve too, almost in like a DX kind of way, where it's like led by one person who then leaves, being Edge, Adam Copeland, and the leadership changes, and there's like not really a leader anymore, and that almost kind of works to the advantage of the group. Like Damian and Rhea kind of split those duties. Woo! Come on, good reversal on the angle slam.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just going hard, man. Get him. Yes. I love that. Yeah. I love that kind of Hurricane Rana, too, because all the work there was on angle. Like, he just does a front flip in the middle of the ring to make that work.
Yep.
Boom. Speaking of Logan Paul.
Yep.
Because he still does that triple suplex.
Oh, my God.
Just so good.
Yeah. We're like 15 minutes in, and these guys are just...
No, yeah, they're going so hard. Ooh,
here we go.
Yeah, there it is. That ankle lock. One of the silliest, like... I get it. Submission holds are always funny, but it's just like, oh, yeah, you're in so much pain that you can't... Like, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, just flip over and kick him. That's why I liked it more whenever Angle would do that and then like wrap his legs around their leg and drop and like kind of grip it even more. Then I'm like, thank you. That's
believe
you like it loud. Yeah.
Oh,
hit that frog splash. I think the other thing is I just love a frog. I love frog splash. If you do a frog splash. Yeah. Woo. Eddie ain't doing one though. My man's just got flipped. 2. Oh. Did he kick out of that?
That was questionable at that.
Yeah, it certainly didn't look like he kicked out. Wow.
Definitely a WCW ref.
Shots fired.
Mm-hmm. Some 30 years ago. Here we go.
Ooh, come on. The straps are down. Amazing.
To the center of the ring with the ankle lock locked in. Right in the middle of the ring, the ankle lock is on, and get another count up.
If I remember correctly, too, I think Taz made his debut fighting Kurt Angle.
Did he?
And then, yes, it was a big. Kurt Angle was doing like an open challenge in Philly, where he was from, and Taz is the one who answered. And
right.
Yep. And then I think he got injured too, just couldn't wrestle anymore. So
sad.
Tough business, man.
Taz has made a pretty good career, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's definitely pivoted to on mic stuff very well. Ooh, and now his son Hook, who might be in WWE by this time next year. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a good wrestler.
Finally got his frog splash. 2.
Nice. Yeah. No, that one got it. That was a kick out. That was close. Nice.
What a match.
Nick Patrick, that's his name. I think he was. Now I got to look it up.
Madison Square Garden.
The champion needs to attack Kurt Angle right here, right now. Kurt Angle got planted with that DDT, though, man. Take another look at the high-flying champion. Check this out. Look at that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We couldn't see it, but apparently it happened. He kicked out.
Apparently
it happened. Something you never want to hear from a.
Yes, he was from WCW. Nick Patrick. I feel like he led the big ref invasion. There it is. There's that ankle lock. I think I know. Because I've had experience with this match recently. I know what happens. Not here, then shortly. No, it's okay. It's a fun thing. It's a fun. I also think I watched this WrestleMania. But you got this.
Ooh, nice.
Come on. Then they both get a little breather.
Yes, please, for our sake.
But what is
making me hyperventilate.
What's he doing?
Oh, taking his
tying his boot. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
What?
Interesting.
Is it his ankle? His ankle?
Huh? I guess we'll have to see.
I guess we'll have to. I mean, it's Eddie Guerrero, so
it's Eddie Guerrero, but oh man, his ankle's hurt. Oh, it's hurt so much.
Poor baby.
It hurts so much.
Poor Latino heat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Eddie. Oh. Oh. Boot comes off. 3. Lovely.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That may be the first time I've ever seen someone use the boot.
Yeah, I will say, if, like, you look closely, Angle clearly, like, just pulls it off of him. Like, it's hard. It's a hard sell. Oh, man. I think the thing that drives me the most nuts is he's wearing those little ankle sports socks. I don't think I would be able to do that in boots. I guess he's got the tights there, but, like, that area of skin touching shoe, I think would just make me uncomfortable.
Oh, gosh.
I'm, like, even thinking about it now, it's getting, like,
get some blisties.
Eddie. Getting one of my favorite belts from one of the worst eras. It's so funny. I love that belt so much, and there is a lot of diminishing returns with that guy. But yeah, there it is. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 20.
Let everyone know where they can find more of these match commentaries and all that good jazz.
You go to patreon.com/somewhere in the ring. We've got some fun stuff up there. We release the proper episodes every Wednesday. So check those out as well. Check out our YouTube channel. Just look up Somewhere in the Ring on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to that so you're always notified when something new pops up, because we're putting new stuff up on there all the time. We've got a documentary up there right now. Remind me of the name. I'm sorry.
A Night at the Opera.
A Night at the Opera. That's correct. By one of our guests our guest for the WrestleMania recap episode. Who just gave me? Did I just do a thumbs up? That happens sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I think it's the iOS. So anyway, but yes, check that stuff out. Check out our YouTube channel. Find us on Twitter at Some Ring Pod, Instagram. Lots of fun stuff. We're all over the place. Join us on Twitch. I'm under Sanford minus Son. The name is no longer accurate. Yeah, keep listening. Keep hanging out with us. We got more of these coming.
Absolutely. Shall we ring the bell?
Oh, let's ring that bell, baby. Ding, ding, ding. Are you good? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding.